Hey everyone, we are live with Conscious and Connected, a collaborative project between myself with Integrative Counsel and Jennifer, Carey over here, who's going to introduce our lovely guest today.
I am so excited to invite Jackie DelVecchio to Conscious and Connected. Jackie and I met while working at Leahy, and I am so grateful to have met her because she made me laugh on days I wanted to cry. And she has just been a solid friend through and through, and an amazing colleague with great advice, solid advice. And so to have her here to help share what she's going to share to help everybody during this time is very exciting. So thank you, Jackie, for being a part of this.
Thank you.
And Jackie, our first question, we always laugh about it because it's like, just describe yourself in less than 4 minutes. That's it. Just kind of tell us your story in that time.
I can do that. So I'm going to start with labels first, just quickly, just to give a sense of who I am. But, personally, I am a wife, a sister, a friend, a daughter, and I'm a mom of 2. So I have a 4-year-old and 1-year-old. So it has been real fun lately, very busy at home, working, homeschooling, the whole jazz. So, and I also have my fur baby. He is 8.5 years old, and he is just as wild as the other 2. Chocolate lab, so he's great. So professionally, I am a psychotherapist, and I've known Jen for a while. I am working at a private practice, and I absolutely love it. I work mostly with adults, and I do have specialized training in, helping perinatal clients, so pre and postpartum women, and also laughter therapy. So I was certified through something called the World Laughter Tour. I originally did a home study with it, and then they came to Massachusetts last year, so I got the chance to do it in person. And so that was just something I added to, my already my love for laughter and humor in general. So the who I am question is interesting because I think if you asked me that before quarantine, it would have been a very different answer. I have learned so much about myself in this time, and it's been great because before, obviously not everything is great, don't get me wrong, but before I would have said I really thrived on being busy and on the go constantly, and now that I'm not, I really just enjoy the simplicity of things right now, and my life is not simple in any way. I'm actually busier now than I was before, which, if you can believe it. So it's not about my life being simple, but realizing that I just enjoy the basics of life, of just talking to my friends and family and getting outside, moving my body, just having some meals made, and, just those simple things is really, really what I'm thriving on and what's helping me, which I know we'll get to the second question about that. But, so I think that I've learned I need to be a lot more flexible, which has helped me through this, whole thing. Is I'm a person who really enjoys flexibility, but also structure, if that makes sense. Both of them at the same time, So I have been forced to do it in this way, but it's been a blessing, to be able to have that opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing all that, all the rules that you're juggling right now, but then also the descriptions that you've come to learn about yourself because we've been forced to slow down, so to speak, because we know that you haven't slowed down, you've powered up, managing virtual clients with a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old and a household and a fur baby and everything. And what really shines through, though, is not only the basics, but it sounds like also joy and laughter, which is so you. I can remember a time once when I was having a stressful day and you were like, go home and watch Impractical jokers, right?
Yep.
You're like, just go watch them and just like marathon watch. Like, so humor is your go-to. And what a great quality to spread that lightness and levity, Jackie.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Jackie, I heard, and I just am noticing themes throughout these interviews, and one that I'm hearing specifically that you mentioned was really around this ability to sort of hold both structure and flexibility, and that during this time, like, we've been forced to be flexible in ways that wasn't even sort of imaginable. I'm speaking for myself, also doing sort of the virtual clients plus homeschooling, right? It's like, it's forced me to be flexible in ways I didn't know was possible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That has been a huge theme with clients too, is like just your strength throughout this. You know, if I was told a couple months ago I wouldn't have a break or a day off in 2 or 3 months, I'd be like, no way. No, I can't do it. No way. You know, I literally can't do that. And so, yes, it has forced me to realize there's things that I need to change that can make my life a lot easier, you know, and obviously self-compassion is a big one in there of, you know, there's only so much I can do. And this is brand new to everybody. You know, we've never had to go through this before. And so, yeah, that flexibility is to make my life and my kids' life easier. You should see the look on their face when, you know, I'm like, okay, we're breaking our structure. Let's go do this. And they're like, what? You know, so it's really exciting. Or if my daughter's like, hey, can I do Play-Doh in the living room? I'm like, sure, go for it. You know, it was something, you know, so it's like, I just got to pick my battle.
Yeah. And so, Jackie, in addition to what you've already shared about flexibility and returning to humor, are there other ways you're staying conscious and connected during this time? Other ways you're staying centered and grounded?
Honestly, tons of ways. And I don't mean that in a bragging way. You know, I mean, I am pulling out all the stops that I can, you know, because this is so challenging. So, you know, there are certain things that I'm doing almost daily that I do feel are necessary. You know, it's not things that I necessarily want to do, but it's necessary to, you know, keep the energy and strength that I've had, which, you know, I've been definitely using exercise. You know, I've been doing like a 10-minute yoga thing every day, you know, just to more of a meditation type stretching thing. And I've done a lot of the things that other guests have been sharing, you know, gratitude and, you know, all of that, of course. But I think some of the big ones that came up for me with this question, was obviously humor. I'll get to that one last, but was mindfulness and staying in the moment, especially having children at home. When I step out of the day-to-day, I do start to panic. You know, if I'm thinking, oh my God, my kids aren't going back to school until July, that's really hard to handle, you know, but I can handle, well, they're not going back today, you know, so what are we going to do today? And so that mindfulness has been absolutely key for me, is to just stay in the day, because I notice what happens to my body and my mind when I start veering outside of that, you know. So mindfulness has been big, and rewards and expectations have come up a lot for me, where before self-compassion, I wouldn't think of a reward as, you know, a positive thing. I'd be like, well, you know, this is what I'm supposed to do, and why reward myself? But, you know, with everything that's been happening, I mean, we have to reward ourselves. This is hard stuff, you know, and that might be a 5-minute break. That might be takeout on Friday night. That might, you know, there's a lot of different things, which that is definitely one of our rewards. We always do Friday night takeout, because that was the one thing we're really missing, is going out to eat. But, you know, so being able to reward yourself and not just feel like, well, this is what I have to do. You know, yeah, of course, we got to do it, but we can still also reward ourselves. And, you know, as far as expectations, you know, really being easy on yourself. I've had a lot of clients said, you know, I'm going to use this time to, you know, get in awesome shape and do this and do that. And I think we're forgetting, like, this is like a national crisis, you know, like, it's not a vacation. And so we can have goals. Nothing wrong with goals, but we want to really check in with those expectations and just kind of shift, what can I do today, and once again, back into the mindfulness. So I don't know if anybody wants to say something before I get onto the humor, but those have been some of the big things for me so far.
Yes, I just want to reflect that this time in particular has, I guess we have a choice, right? But the choice that you've chosen is to become mindful, which brings you into this present moment where things seem much more manageable than when we project into the future. And that gentleness, I think, is so important during this time. Yeah, myself included, I have usually grand expectations of myself, and then how to just soften those. And I hear the same for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I love the kind of spin on, you think one day at a time, take it one day at a time. What we often say to one another, but what I was hearing from you is almost like a different angle, and that's just stay in the day, like just literally stay in the day. Not only are you looking at it like one day at a time, you're like, this is the only place where I am right now.
Yeah.
And I also want to reflect the idea about, I remember in the beginning, my husband said a couple of times, like, well, you're working from home. I'm like, I'm working from home in a global crisis. Like, can we like reframe that a little bit? And then I think about the two of you who are also managing little ones. Like you're working from home while homeschooling or taking care of your little ones during a global crisis. So it is different. It's not the vacation. It's not the luxurious thing that sometimes I think people spin on it. So it's important, I think, to just honor that.
Yeah. And obviously I'm here to talk about the humor, and like that has probably been one of the best things for me to stay connected is right now I just cannot get enough of memes. I literally joined Instagram and did like a fake account just to see memes. I'm not even kidding, because it just cracks me up, and the therapeutic value of like humor, to be able to laugh at the little things. Of course, this is not about any of the serious pieces of this pandemic, but the little everyday kind of nuances just really cracks me up. Like, for example, one of my favorite ones, I don't know if you guys watched Tiger King, but I'm sure you've heard of it if you haven't watched it. But there's a meme of one of the zookeepers, and he's talking about the how much it costs to feed the of course the big cats, but it really is referring to kids during this quarantine. And I want to get the direct quote because it's hilarious. So it says it costs $60,000 to $70,000 a month just to feed all these animals, and I cannot relate to that more, because I am not saving money on groceries. These kids are eating like they're never going to eat again. Like it's so those kind of memes, and just to be able to laugh at those little things that we might not have before. I would have probably been very frustrated with stop eating all the snacks, at this, it's just, we have to kind of laugh at those little everyday things. Humor and memes have been very big for me.
That's great. I know. I've had a couple of favorites too, and I just again appreciate you bringing that home, and we are very excited about you sharing this. So Jackie's gift that she's sharing to everyone, obviously, is humor, and she's surprising us because apparently Dana and I are going to be subjects, participants. I don't know what we should call ourselves in this humorous experiment or whatever we should call it. So take it away, Jackie. What are we going to do?
Okay. So the reason why, humor is very important is because there's a lot of health benefits from it, and I'm not going to get into all the statistics, but, it helps with our immune system. There's been research with people with heart disease, pain, intolerance, and the list goes on, and it's also, they say that laughing 10 or 15 minutes a day turn up to 40 calories, so the good about humor is you don't need a sense of humor, and you don't necessarily need to hear jokes, because most laughter comes from interaction with other people, not from jokes. I'm not funny. I don't know any jokes. I don't tell jokes. The laughter thing is not about jokes. It is about the laughter, and humor, of course, can be subjective, right? So what I find funny, you might not find funny. So laughter therapy is about creating your own laughter that can give you the health benefits that come with that laughter, the physical and mental health benefits. Laughter therapy, it's not about jokes. So you gotta look at that, Jen. You gotta look at your
Sorry, I apologize. There's like a truck reversing, and Misty is losing it because it's doing the beep. And I think she just wants to be a part of this segment, but
more than
trying to laugh it off. Gotta laugh it off.
So, obviously, in a time of crisis, it's very important to laugh because it's what helps us feel more connected. There's a lot of loneliness, a lot of boredom, so humor is universal, and it's our way to bring, people together, much like music, right? So, and to be able to shift perspective and find things funny that weren't funny before. So what we are going to do is a laughter exercise. And so did you guys print out the thing that I had sent to you? Do you have it? Okay. So I am wearing my Hakuna Matata shirt because I picked a song because all we've been doing is watching Disney Plus. So I figured this song that, most people know and is somewhat relatable. And the theme of it is obviously appropriate. So what we're going to do is we're not going to sing the lyrics. We're just going to use, the laughter form of either ho, ha, or he. So I gave you, lyrics as, what I thought we could use. You can also just replace whatever you want, but we're going to sing it in the melody, if that makes sense. Do you guys have any questions? We might mess it up. That's okay. The point of it is to be using that laughter that is going to help elicit those, those benefits from it. Is familiar with Hakuna Matata?
Yeah.
Okay. So there is a part where I cut off, some of it, but that's okay because it'll be better because we'll let up and we'll just laughing. So no worries whatsoever. So you let me know when you guys are ready.
All right, ready. And I think Misty might want to sing too.
Apparently, Misty really wants to be a part of this. I think I'm just going to say that. Reframe.
Always welcome. Okay. So when we are ready, we're going to start with the first line. So ready? 1, 2, 3. Ho ho ha ha ha. Ho ho
ha ha ha. Ho ho ha ha he. He. Ha ha ho ho. Ho ho ha ha.
Ha ha. He ho
ho ho. Ha 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 ha.
Ho ho ha. Ho he ho. Ho ho ha ha. Ha ho ha. He ho ho ha ha. Ha ha ho ho he. Ho ho ha ha. Ready? From the top.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Ho ho ha he he. Ho ho ha 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 ha. Ho ho ha 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 he. He. He ha ha ho ho. Ho ho ha ha ha. He ho ho ho. Ha ha ha. Ho ha ha he.
Ho ha ha he he. Ho ho ha he he.
Oh. I lost my spot.
Oh my God. See, it's there's no right or wrong, you know, there's
Yeah.
just, you just laugh it. You just laugh it, you know, and there are so many different laughter exercises. You know, this one I literally just made up, but, you know.
Wow, that's very creative.
Thank you. Literally, all you have to do, if you don't feel like getting out of bed, if you don't feel like exercising, just sit there and laugh for 2 minutes straight. I will tell you that is a lot harder than it sounds. You know, to laugh for 2 minutes is a lot of work. You know, you are working all of the muscles. If you can, where you genuinely laugh so much, you know, it feels so good. Like you are hurting after your stomach, and you know, it's a great workout.
What a great tool.
I know. I was laughing. So
Oh yeah, it was hysterical. And I do apologize. At one point I did show Misty, ho ho ha ha he.
She doesn't look amused.
She's not gonna perform. She's not gonna perform on key. But she came right up to my leg and she was like, so that's how I got distracted because I wanted to show her because I figured it would be part of the show. But apparently she doesn't like to perform on cue. Thanks, Misty. That's great.
Not.
Anyway, but no, it was really funny. And because of StreamYard or whatever, like it would have like you be louder sometimes and then Dana be louder. So I was like, where are we? It was good. And I guess it's like what you said, it's the interaction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really has nothing to do with like what it's, you know, and humor, it's more of like, you know, our concept, you know, like you said, there's really no bad sense of humor. It's just what we sense as funny and what our brain, you know, kind of connects as something worth laughing, you know, where we don't always have control over that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so, Jackie, I know we're just a little over time, but final thought. I'm curious if people want a way to trigger that laughter response. I know they could laugh a song, right? And any other like tips for people who want to laugh?
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of those skills where, you know, what works for me, what makes me laugh is going to be very different. I think, you know, what's helpful may be, you know, knowing that once again, you don't have to be funny. You don't have to feel like you have a sense of humor, you know, but more look into the benefits, you know, which I think has been a theme, you know, for a lot of, you know, for myself and for a lot of clients is we're not doing things necessarily right now to because it feels good, because even though we're doing them, it doesn't necessarily feel good in the moment. You know, we're doing it because if I don't, I'm probably going to feel worse, you know, or if I don't, you know, I'm not going to be able to get these benefits. So with humor, sometimes it's just loosening up and being vulnerable to be able to start that process and to know there's a lot of benefit behind it. So sometimes understanding the importance of it can be helpful, you know, and so even, you know, and, you know, other big points is, even if you're faking it, you're still getting benefits from it. So it doesn't have to be genuine, you know, it's the whole physical act. It's, you know, that you will end up, you know, laughing. If you started laughing, you know, out loud, you're eventually going to start laughing at yourself, which is, you know, the point. So, you know, it doesn't have to be real. So yeah, it's just trying things out, even watching videos of people laughing, even if you are not, you're still going to get benefits from that. You know? So some of the biggest, you know, things that people go to is watching YouTube videos of either babies laughing, you know, or just funny animal stuff, you know, so just, it's really trial and error of what your body just kind of signals as this is worth laughing about, you know, this is funny.
It's so true. And if we really, really allow it, like what you were saying, that vulnerability, we can find humor in just about anything. And I love the idea. It's so true. On SNL, whenever people like break out in laughter, like when Jimmy Fallon loses it at Will Ferrell, that's when I lose it. Or Carol Burnett show. I don't know if you guys ever were into that, but when Tim would just like, you know, make all the other ones laugh, I would lose it. So there is just something about just laughing. So maybe that's what we should do when we wake up in the morning grumpy. We should just start fake laughing.
Just fake laugh out loud. Yeah. Even seconds. Yeah, just do it and see what happens.
All
But
right.
research says, that you're still going to get the same benefits, whether it was genuine or not. And it may open you up more to being able to shift that perspective and laugh at a lot more as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure there's some brain science with that.
Yeah.
So Jackie, this was amazing. This is so much, and I feel like we could keep going and keep laughing. How can people contact you? How can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I think I did send you my website, but I do have a website, JacquelineDelVecchio.com. I'm also on Psychology Today, but it would have all the same information. So I do offer laughter therapy groups, so if people are interested in what that may look like, or what that entails, any information, I'm happy to answer that. I know everything's kind of closed right now, but people have done laughter groups in YMCAs or libraries or community centers, anything like that. Even offices, businesses, for staff meetings have wanted to have just a different kind of exercise. And like I said, you don't need to be funny to partake in this. It's about learning how to create your own laughter so that you're getting the benefits from it each time we do.
Love it. Thank you. And now your website will be written at the bottom of this, and people can contact that. And I guess they can't contact the fake Instagram thing that you created for me.
You won't find me.
That's not okay.
Oh, unless they have a funny page that they share memes daily, then send me your information and I will follow you.
Love it. All right. Fair enough.
Thank you
so much.
Now you're welcome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Jackie.
Bye.
Bye. I'm going to say goodbye to Misty, even though Misty, you can
Bye.
Bye.
I'll come sing to you soon, Misty.
I know. You have to meet her. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.